como equipo tenemos con agrado el equipo de Cambridge de ofrecerles este webinar que va a conducir nuestro autor, conocidísimo autor Herbert Puchta, que se ha hecho un espacio de tiempo en su día laboral, porque son en Austria a las 10 de la noche, para ofrecerles este interesante precuela de la segunda edición de Superminds. Así que bienvenidos y dejo antes de eso, como protocolo de trabajo del webinar, nos gustaría que cuando quieran, como esto es un VIP invitación, no somos tantos, por lo tanto el que quiera hacer preguntas a Herbert durante la intervención de él, levante la mano y nosotros les vamos a ir dando el acceso a las preguntas a Herbert. A menos que quieran escribirlo y se contestan al final del webinar mismo. No sé, equipo, si me falta algo para indicar. ¿No? Okay.
No, está bien.
Okay, so welcome, Herbert. Thank you for being with us, for your time, for being so kind. And we are delighted and excited to hear about your news.
Okay, well, hello, everybody. I almost said good evening, everybody, because here it's 10 o'clock at night. So what's the time there?
It's nearly 4 minutes past 4 in the afternoon.
Okay, so mid-afternoon. Well, I'm extremely happy to be with you today. And I wonder whether we should start with a very brief introduction, because we are a very small group tonight or today, and it would be lovely just to hear, you know, 1 or 2 sentences from each of you. Can we do that, Jose?
Yes, we can.
I think you are the one who has the power over the microphones.
Yeah. Who wants to speak now can open up and share.
Mm-hmm. And please don't be shy.
Okay.
I am going to say something.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my video is off. My name is Francisca. I'm from Chile. I don't know if anyone else from Chile here. I know some people here. I'm very happy to be here because you are kind of my idol. I've been following you since Playway when I started working. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, but I'm very.
You said Playway.
Yes, Playway. So I'm very
1998.
glad to be here today.
Okay, lovely. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining in. Thank you.
Andrés Morgado.
Andrés.
Right. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andrés Morgado, or Eduardo Morgado. I am also from Chile. I'm very pleased to be here with you. Just like what she said previously, I'm like a fanboy, like a fan of you, because since I was at school, I've been using your texts. And nowadays, when I was at the university, I also used some of your texts as a student. And now, as a teacher of English, I'm willing and I'm expecting to also use to teach my students, because your methodology, your exercises are simply awesome. So thank you very much.
You can see that I'm blushing a little bit now.
You have a fandom here in Chile, Herbert.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Quite a few, I think I've also met on one of my many trips to Chile, no?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, I think we have met. Is that right? No?
Amanda? Ah.
Sorry, that
I forgot to change my name. My name is Macarena. That's the name
Ah,
of my little
okay.
girl. Sorry. No, I haven't.
You haven't been to any of
Yeah,
my seminars? Ah, okay. I
no,
thought
sorry.
I somehow recognized you. Sorry about this. My
But
mistake.
I have worked with the Supermind,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I like the series very much.
Thank you. Okay.
So I believe that we are nearly ready.
Okay.
We can start.
I will start. What I've done is, oops, I have prepared a short PowerPoint to make you familiar with some of the new features in the second edition of Superminds. But first of all, I've brought you some flowers. Okay, so here we go. I'm actually talking here from my study in my home in Austria. And like you, I've been at home for basically a year. My wife still keeps saying how unusual that is. I live in the middle of the countryside here in the southeast of Austria. I think I have an image of the village where I live. It's a real village. And actually, among these houses here in the middle, there's the local primary school. And I have been teaching there, the kids at the local primary school for almost 4 years now. The reason being that my grandson started going to school there at the age of 6. And I mean, there's a lot of advantages to living in the countryside, but having great teachers of English is not among those advantages, as you can imagine. So it's a state primary school, good level, but in Austria at state school they only have 1 hour of English a week, and the quality of the teaching well, is sort of moderate sometimes. So what I did was, when I knew that my grandson was going to go to that school, that I spoke to the ministry and I said to them, look, I'm going to volunteer to teach this class, the class where my grandson is going to be, for free for 3 hours a week, if you give me permission to do a classroom research project in that class. And I think we can agree that 3 hours is not brilliant either, but 3 hours is a lot more than 1 hour. And so to my great delight, I got the official approval. And so I've been the teacher of not only my own grandson, but also his class. And it's been a fantastic experience. It's been such a great learning experience for me. And of course, you know, when the lockdown started, I was suddenly in a situation where I thought, well, I'm going to teach them online. And like most of us, of course, it was a very new experience for me too. So it was actually a great learning sort of process, and I'm quite happy to say that I developed a number of teaching processes and gained insights into what works well online and what doesn't so well. And now I've gone back, because the lockdown has been eased up. I've gone back to teaching my class again. Unfortunately, the project will be over in 6 weeks from now, because they're moving on to the next type of school. So that's my my situation here, just to give you the frame that I'm in. One of the things I've learned also over these 4 years is how important engagement is. And I found this quotation recently in a publication by the RMIT University in Australia, where they actually talking about engagement, and they say when teachers focus more on academics and fail to create a positive social learning environment, students are likely to be emotionally disengaged and worried about making mistakes. Contrarily, when teachers focus more on the social dimension and neglect the intellectual dimension, students possibly experience low cognitive engagement for learning. So this has been my key challenge there. How can I engage them in a multidimensional way? So emotionally, cognitively, and also behaviorally. And what's you know, been at the core of my insights again, it's not something new, but it's just confirmation of something that W.B. Yeats said many years ago, that education is not the filling of a pail. I don't know if you've come across the word pail. It's like an old word for bucket. So education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And that's something I firmly believe in, and my 4-year experience, which is sadly going to be over soon, has really confirmed this for me. So let me, after this short introduction, let me just talk a little bit now about the new edition of Superminds. Superminds has been called the thinking course, justifiably so, I believe, because it was actually really the first course for primary learners that I think rather successfully did not only aim at teaching them language skills, but integrated, as you know, the development of cognitive skills simultaneously. And we have actually, what shall I say, we have made more of this important principle. So of course, you may be saying now, well, you know, it's been out for 8 years, hasn't it? And you're absolutely right. And you know what? Hadn't there been a COVID-19, the course would be in your staff rooms already for inspection, because we were totally ready for publication end of 2020. So it would be in schools in this year, but then Cambridge had to make a decision because, of course, nobody in the whole wide world was actually interested in new course books. So they had to put the course on ice for a year. I was, you know, seriously worried, as you can imagine, because when you're expecting your new course to be out and then it's delayed for a year, that is slightly worrying. So if you're asking yourself, well, you know, is it worth waiting for yet another year? I cannot answer this question for you. But what I can do is I can show you some of the key features. I can show you what we've changed, what we've added, what we've improved, so you can make an informed decision. Cambridge did quite intensive research in 70 countries, 70 countries around the world to find out what teachers expected from the new edition. And it was quite interesting because to put it in a nutshell, the key answer we got from colleagues in many countries around the world was change it, because I've been working with it for quite a number of years, but don't change it because we love the course. So in other words, people said, and this is what we decided to do, we first of all kept everything that teachers and learners love. We have a pretty good perspective also on what learners love, and not only on what teachers appreciate and like and value about the course. But we have, of course, I mean, the research has not come to a standstill over the last 8 years, or we actually wrote it 10 years ago, or even a little bit more. So there have been new insights in education, in cognitive psychology, and we have, of course, made use of these new insights too. And we have added some new features also. As you can imagine, you know, nobody is probably happy with the videos of Superminds anymore. I mean, they were not absolutely brilliant when Supermind was published. I must say that personally. You know, videos cost a lot of money, and in those days, nobody knew was Superminds going to be a successful course. So they didn't go for the most expensive line of production, and I can't blame them for that. But in the meantime, of course, Superminds has become extremely successful. So the new videos, and you will see a few examples. I hope our technology permits that you can really see them in the kind of quality that they are in. But the new videos are absolutely stunning, I believe. So again, you know, the new edition has 7 levels, including a starter level. We have written a completely new starter level. So the starter level, as I'm sure quite a few of you know, was basically put together using content in the first edition from Super Safari. So the protagonists were the animals from Super Safari. We've changed that. The content of the starter level is brand new and uses the characters that we are also using in the first level of Superminds. It takes learners, so this is not new, towards B1 by level 6, and of course it's not a course for classes that have 1 or 2 hours of English. There are 2 editions, a British and an American edition. What have we kept? Children love the characters, children love their adventures. So we've kept the story episodes, okay? We've kept the rather comprehensive language syllabus. We've kept the quality of the projects, the quality of the activities. They are highly interactive, and I've already hinted at that. Became engaging. And of course, we have kept the authentic quality of the kill content, but the kill content is completely new. So it's not the same kill content, it's completely new. And also the extensive skills practice, quite a lot of the skills practice content is also new. You will see that there is, it's not just, you know, the same course done up attractively. It has a lot of new content. We've been quite busy over the last few years. So what is new? The design is completely new. I don't think there is any drawing, design feature or photograph that is that was already in the first edition. The content is fresh, the content is updated, and we have quite a lot of new content too. The videos are new, and there are a lot more videos now. And of course, you know, I mean, time has moved on, and the development and the needs that teachers have concerning digital support have, of course, developed further, not only because of COVID. I mean, we must say, you know, that Superminds has been out for 8 years now. Of course, digital learning and digital based instruction has developed further. So we have enhanced digital support. Let me just, I'm just going to show you a few examples to give you a taste of the second edition, and then we can have a chat, and you can ask questions or comment, whatever. These are the new covers, and you can see that the characters have a different design also. We have contemporary illustration and animation. The workbook is now full color. This is just a sample page from Unit 5 in Level 3 from the workbook, actually. We have aged up the higher levels to give them a more mature look. We think that this is important. You know, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old these days is much cooler than what they used to be 10 years ago or 9 years ago, as we all know, right? They're still children. That's important to keep in mind, but they are cooler, especially when they are among the peer group. You know, they have to be cool on the surface, even if deep down they're children and sometimes pretty insecure. But on the surface, they are the coolest kids one can imagine. We have new content in terms of Kill. The Kill content is more in line with what children usually learn also in their own language classes. And I think this is important because it creates a good link, so the content will be remembered better and it makes more sense for the kids also. This is the page you can see on the left-hand side of this slide is from Level 2 of the student's book. I already mentioned that of course Superminds was initially written to help develop the students' thinking skills. Now Cambridge has in the meantime spent a lot of effort on doing research in the area of developing thinking skills, and Cambridge has come up with what is called the CLCF, which is the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework. This is a pretty complex feature that supports teachers or gives teachers background in the challenging area of helping learners to develop their thinking skills, such as problem solving, analyzing sources of information more critically, communicating their views effectively, and maintaining a positive mindset in an increasingly complex world. So we are using the guidelines developed in the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework to mainly work on the areas you can see in the focus here: learning to learn, creative thinking, and critical thinking. All the other areas like communication, collaboration, social responsibilities, and emotional development are of course taken care as well in the course. But we don't label them as with the thinking logo, while the core, if you like, competencies here and activities based on these core competencies, they are labeled in the book with this, I don't know, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So you can see these little shields with the C here. So this is the Cambridge Life Competencies Framework logo. So wherever you see this in the book, you know that this is an activity where there is systematic development of children's thinking skills. And thanks to a request from Lillian, when I was in Chile last, she totally confused me, because 2 weeks before the course, before my trip, she phoned me up and said, our teachers want you to talk about executive skills. And I said, executive what? And it was actually something I had not been informed about previously. I had not known that there is something that cognitive researchers call executive skills. I have done quite intensive research in this area. It's all thanks to Chile. And I've written for Cambridge a white paper on, I don't call them executive skills, because executive skills for many language teachers has an association of business English, okay? So I call them cognitive control functions, okay? And I'm delighted to say, that we have developed quite a number of activities in the book that help develop cognitive control functions. So they are they aim at 3 core areas. One is developing working memory. The other one is what's called inhibitory control. In other words, helping learners to focus their attention, helping them not to get distracted, helping them to stay on task. And last but not least, cognitive flexibility. And again, as you can see here from these samples, these activities that develop cognitive control functions are flagged in the book, where we use this logo that I've already shown. So these are, you know, some thoughts on developing cognitive skills in general and specifically. When we look at a unit, the opening page of the unit does not only introduce lexis as previously, but we also have what we call a big question on the first page, which offers some kind of gradual introduction to what's called inquiry-based learning. So like here, this unit is on gadgets, and the big question is, how are gadgets useful? Now, this is something where you can do an initial brainstorming with your learners. So they're learning the names of some gadgets in English here, and then we can think together with them, how are gadgets useful? And we can maybe do a first categorization activity. But then throughout the units, they will get more insights into this bigger question. And of course, the learn to think page or pages, the learn to think spread, that finally, you know, gives them even more insights. So this sort of inquiry-based learning as a principle goes through the whole unit. Oops. We have brand new videos, up to 5 per unit. You don't have to show them all, but they're there. and really, I will show you a few. They are very good quality. Okay. There is an enhanced digital offer as well. There won't be time for me to show you much about this tonight, but Lillian and her team will show you the digital offer on time. So let's go through a unit. I've chosen the one on scuba diving because I'm a scuba diver and I've always loved this unit. But you can see immediately, you know, when you look at this now, that the design is very different, isn't it? It's fresh. It's without being overloaded, because that's also important. Children need attractive and stunning images, but at the same time, they also need design that supports them in focusing their attention. And for that, research has shown white space is also very important. All the songs are new. The songs are fun. I'm going to play you the song video here. So of course, this is a fun song about the Croco Rocks, a dangerous kind of mythical animal. It's not a real animal, as you can imagine. Let me play the song to you. I'm not playing the whole song. We won't have the time. Just give you a taste. Okay, did you hear it well enough?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Okay, so that's an example of a song. No, we also have grammar chants. So in levels 1 and 2, there is a certain animal for the grammar chants. In levels 3 and 4, we have a gecko, Greg the gecko. And in this case, the language focus, as you can see, is questions in the past tense. And answers, yes, I was, no, I wasn't. So questions and negations in past tense. Let me just play the language chant.
Were you on the beach, Greg? Yes, I was. Were you in the sea, Greg? No, I wasn't. Were there turtles? No, there weren't. Was there a shark? No, there wasn't. Was there an octopus? Yes, there was. And that was really dangerous.
Okay, so that's an example. In the next phase, they will also see the lyrics at the same time. The idea is, of course, as you know, I mean, these principles are, I think, in the meantime, have been well researched, that rhythm helps to retain language. The memory of structures and the memory of rhythm, they are actually sort of activated in the same structure in the human brain. And with the help of a chant like this, more learners will remember language form, obviously, and at the same time, the animation helps to make meaning clear. So it gives the structures, which are not always easy to learn for children, a nice and meaningful context, right? Okay, now let's move on to the next. No, I want to go on. Yes. Now here's the story, and again, as I've said, the story is the same. We've kept the stories. There was unanimous agreement that both teachers and learners wanted to keep the stories, but the design is absolutely new and the videos are new. I'm using not the high quality video here because as you can imagine, that would be very space hungry in terms of digital space. And we would need a very, very good broadband connection to be able to actually see it. So I'm using a sort of medium range resolution, and I hope this will be okay and you can see the quality.
What about that giant shell over there? Good idea. Maybe the letter's in there. Let's have a look. Hurry up.
Okay, I'm stopping it here. Was it okay? Did you see it all right? Yeah? Okay, thanks. You can see it's, you could see, I hope, that it's 3D animation. And I mean, as I said, you know, I was using a medium range sort of resolution, but they're absolutely stunning when you see the original. Okay, I think this is a new story also, I'm not quite sure now, saved by dolphins. On the skills page, obviously here, then we have...
Unit 5.
Sorry. Then we have the kill spread next, and we have a short video for each kill spread, okay? So this is on people and the sea, and what we do to the seas of this world, and what we could do to save the seas. So certainly also a very relevant topic for kids in your country. I'll just show you a very, very brief extract again.
Unit 5. How do people endanger the sea? The seas cover 70% of planet Earth, and they are very important to us. Our seas are full of incredible creatures and plants. We need clean seas for a healthy planet, but people are endangering the seas in lots of ways. Our climate is changing. Because the world is getting hotter.
Okay, you can see that. So this is an example of a kill spread from this unit, and as you can see, we are making the kill spreads, we have made them even more interactive for the kids, and there are new projects also, of course, at the end of them. This is an example of the portfolio page where they do some research in class, asking and answering questions, producing, in this case, a grid with the answers. In some units, we have bar charts, etc., etc. And then finally, we have a very carefully developed writing task here. This page, this spread you've already seen. It's just 2 pages from the the workbook. Okay, so that was a walkthrough through one of the student book units. Here's a short overview of the components. There's no changes there really when it comes to the students' components. There is again the students' book and the workbook. There is an extra practice book, an optional super practice book, and the teacher's components, the teacher's book, the flashcards, a poster pack. So that's the print components. But then you have the digital components, okay? Very, very briefly, Cambridge has a new platform, Cambridge One, and you will have all the digital features and components in one place, really. So for teachers, the Presentation Plus software, which is going to be on Cambridge One and can also be downloaded from there, gives you the student's book, the workbook. These include hotspots for the audio and video content and interactive activities, interactive games, digital flashcards. And there is also a very quick and very easy access to the teacher's book notes corresponding to the student's book. So when you click on the teacher's book icon, you are immediately taken to the corresponding page of the teacher's book. I think this is extremely helpful also. Then you will also have on Cambridge One the teacher resources, downloadable, photocopyable activities, the teacher's notes I've mentioned, downloadable, printable tests for the starter level, and access to all the audio and videos. There's going to be a test generator from levels 1 to level 6. And for the students, I've mentioned this practice extra thing. If you decide to go for the digital pack, then the students' book and workbooks will also be on Cambridge One. Okay, so that was a very quick overview, and now it's over to you. I've spoken enough. If you have any questions, I think Jose, it's best if I
Yes.
my presentation now, right?
Yeah, it would be better. You can see our faces if you do that. Excellent.
Yes, lovely. That is much better. Yes.
Okay. So if anybody has any questions, this is the moment to ask them. Andres, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I really enjoy watching and having a look at the presentation. I would like to ask you if is it possible to add a closed caption or subtitles on the videos? The videos are awesome, by the way, the 3D videos.
Thank you. Yes, there is a subtitled version. I think you have both options. You can show the video without and with the subtitle. And I would recommend that the students watch them without looking at the subtitles first, maybe, and then later the subtitles will give them, very good support once they're familiar with the overall content. Once they have a good global understanding of what's going on in the video, and they become more interested in language details, then you can use them with subtitles. Absolutely.
Of course, I totally agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres.
Thank you, Herbert. Anybody else?
I'm so shy.
Yeah, some people send me questions and direct messages to me, so maybe I will use one of them in the meantime. Yes. No. Oh no, that one no. Okay. Herbert, a a person asked if the Think and Learn spread is available in every unit.
Which spread?
Think and Learn.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you said that it leads into a project. So the question basically was about the project. If every unit had a project.
Yes.
Included. Fantastic.
The projects are different kinds of projects. In that particular case, it was a poster, and there are also other tasks. I mean, they're not producing a poster at the end of each unit, but there will always be a kind of project task at the end of the Think and Learn spread.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else? I can keep going, asking questions. I have a couple more. Okay. Okay, Herbert. Another question I have here. Are there any significant differences between British English and American English versions besides accent and spelling?
No.
Okay.
No.
They're pretty much the same.
It's a language adaptation, really. It's the same media content, obviously. It's the same stories. The reason why it's not really necessary is that the British English version, if you like, is in British English, but the content is very international.
Absolutely.
The content uses British English as a lingua franca. We are not kind of promoting, I don't know, the British monarchy, or I'm joking. You know what I mean? I mean, we can, very, very easily go and adapt the language of the course to American English without actually having to change the content.
Thank you. Andres, he has another question.
Yes. By the way, talking about accents and different English, let's say different English, how do you do teaching to your grandson or to the class? I mean, for example, you are using this course book, let's suppose, and there appears the word mobile phone and laptop. Then you teach them, well, this is British English, the equivalent in American English, it is cell phone and notebook. Do you do that, or you don't?
I sometimes do, to show off a little bit that I know a lot of words. Now we have fun sometimes, because what I often do is that one of the most important jobs we have as teachers is to sell to our students that what we are doing with them is extremely important for their future lives. And I do that a lot. So for example, when I sometimes I want to arouse their interest, I say, hey, I'm going to teach you a new word now, and this is a fantastic word. I really love this word, and this word will be very important for you. And they all go like this, and then one of them starts laughing and say, well, you love every word. So I do that. I mean, of course, now they are 10. So their meta understanding of language has grown quite considerably. But of course, in year one, I wouldn't have said, well, this is British English, this is American English, because, for them, it doesn't matter. It's a sound. And it's a nice sound, which they love imitating. But now, of course, with their growing understanding of the world, their growing knowledge of the world, and their growing insights into language, a lot more is possible in terms of explaining where word comes from, or what have you.
Also in terms of writing, right? color, and also in terms of writing, not at the very beginning, not with first graders.
Yes. No, they're quite good at writing, and I quite happily teach them a bit of grammar too. You know, 'cause they are interested. They love doing that, and I don't want to sort of keep this away from them, as long as they are interested in it, and as long as they want to learn. I mean, it's been a lovely learning experience, and it's quite amazing. It's only 3 hours a week. It's amazing what they're able to do in English. It's really amazing.
My last interruption. Last summer, I was taking a course in the US in the Framingham State University, and one of the professors there said that there were 5 skills. I said, what? This is new. Okay, so you got my attention. And he said listening, reading, writing, speaking, and grammar. Just like what you said. It's important. Whether we like it or not, whether we are grammar lovers or not, grammarians, it is definitely important.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call grammar a skill. I would call it a sub-skill. But then, of course, we also need to count things like lexis and pronunciation, intonation, etc. They're all absolutely important. Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Me here.
Okay, Carolina.
Carolina Seguel from Verbo Divino School. Hello, Herbert.
Hello, Carolina.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Nice to hear you again. It's always a pleasure for me to attend to your lectures and speeches and everything, to workshops that I've been attending to during all these years. I would like to share some ideas in terms of how we've been working in Verbo Divino School. We're just applying a new kind of approach, let's say, which is visible thinking. If you have heard about it. Visible thinking. So I would like to know if this new series of the Superminds has to do in terms of this approach and how we can develop visible thinking in our students, having this new edition of the Supermind, because we have been working with this book for many years, and I really like it, in primary school. So if this new series, this new edition has a connection with this kind of approach of visible thinking, that's what I would like to know.
Yes, I would like to ask you first, because obviously you're familiar with John Hattie's work, right? So which of the sort of qualities or strands of visible thinking are you actually using with your learners at the moment? What do you think are the key areas that you want to see applied?
Well, in terms of the culture, the thinking culture or culture of thinking, and also about what are how can students make documentations of how they think, how is the thinking process, you know? So we are now making plannings using this kind of approach, and also based on your book. So I am working with the Superminds number 3, right. And I've been adapting some thinking routines, for example, the thinking keys into your book, in terms of to develop thinking in our students and make them document this thinking, you know. So that's what I would like to know. If you know, I've been reading a book of visible thinking that Perkins and Richard.
I don't know that book. The books I know are mainly by John Hattie.
Okay, well, Hattie is another author who have been working with that, but I've been reading a book about of David Perkins and Ron Richard. And so I would like to know, because we are been working with your book for so many years, so it's, I mean, it could be a great talent if we can continue that, because parents also want to change books or maybe to update the books, so in English, of course, because English is always a kind of issue in our school. in terms of, because we are not bilingual. So we are always being comparing with the school we've got next to, which is the Villa Maria Academy, which is bilingual. So our students aren't. And we would like to, how we can improve their English, having this approach, we must develop visible thinking and also using your book at the same time. Continue.
It's definitely possible. And given the fact that Superminds is actually a course that aims at developing thinking skills, visible thinking is something, so thinking can be made visible when you're using Superminds. I mean, Lilian, this is a suggestion, because this goes beyond what we can do tonight. But I'd be very, very happy to give a webinar on visible thinking in the young learners classroom. Very, very happy to do that. And that should hopefully give you ideas. I'll be using examples from Superminds. And it would, of course, be nice for you or your colleagues also to join in and share your ideas. So it's not
absolutely.
It's not a one-way instructional sort of process, but it's a sharing of ideas. I'd be very happy to do that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So you know that you're being recorded, Herbert. So we're going to use your words.
And there's quite a few witnesses.
Looking forward to.
Exactly. Okay. I think we have time for just a couple of questions more. Okay. Probably there are going to be quick questions with quick answers. One question that I got is, when is it going to be available? In the shelves to be used?
It's going to be the course. Lilian, do you know the exact dates? I think you know them better than I do.
You're mute.
Switch on your mic. You're mute.
There we are. For us in Chile, it's going to be ready. The books can be here 2023, because the publishing will be in middle of next year. So that's why we have to wait. We will be able to promote next year, have some samples from second semester onwards, but for thinking on 2023.
Okay.
Because it's aligned with the Northern Hemisphere school year.
Yes, and we have to be sure that books can arrive on time, because it's taking longer to arrive everything nowadays because of the pandemic. So it's not causing problems to parents and schools. We have to be sure that they can be here earlier, and so 2023 March start working with the books. It's going to be the due date.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sounds like, but a year flies by. I mean,
yeah,
flies by.
The books,
and we can have more webinars.
You know,
we can have more webinars in the meanwhile.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
While we wait for the new edition.
Yeah. And Herbert, this is going to be my last question, and probably it's going to be the last question for tonight. We have in the audience a lot of Think users too. Okay. So what can you tell us about Think? When is it coming a second edition?
Yes.
Are there any news in the horizon for that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we have actually finished our work on Think, on the second edition. It's going to be exciting. I'm very, very pleased with it. Lilian, when is it going to be in Chile? I'm asking you straight away.
I can't remember now, really. I was ready for this question because I thought they were going to be willing to know when, but I cannot remember for Think, but be sure that we will let you know as soon as I have the correct.
He's younger, isn't he? I think he's much younger than.
Yes, absolutely, yes. But it's not that long. I believe it's near soon.
Okay, so I don't know if we have any last question from the audience, and before Lily closes this webinar.
No, you can do it, please. You can do it.
Okay.
It's a team.
Yeah. So since there are no more questions, I just want to probably tell you what.
Paulita. Okay.
Just it's not a question, just a comment. I cannot wait to get my hands on this new edition. I'm very happy that you keep some old things and also include some new things like videos and characters, especially for the kill section. That was difficult to engage with the kids. Just one thing, I'm very glad you removed the MP3 from the gadget unit, because kids had no idea what MP3 was. So,
and did you see that they use an iPhone 11?
That unit was a nightmare for me, because it was an MP3. So thank you very much. Just that.
Fantastic.
There's a comment there too. Thank you, Paula. From Marta, Jose, if you want to tell Herbert.
Yeah, she says, thanks, Herbert. Nice to see you again. We always remember that you visited our school years ago. Thanks again. We're going to be looking for this new edition.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. I hope I can be in Chile again in the not too distant future. But for the time being, there's a promise that I've made, and we need to be in touch, and
absolutely.
See when would be a good time for you and for me as well. I need to.
Well, if teachers don't complain, because we know that you are overwhelmed, we really know with all the things that you have to do and the hybrid classes and everything. Maybe we can think about next semester.
Okay. Would that be like September, or when would it be?
September, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Early September.
Early September.
Yeah.
Early September.
Yeah. No,
Do you agree? Do you agree, the teachers, the rest?
A reading task over the next few weeks and months. So
okay. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. So.
Right.
Great news.
Do that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for attending. Herbert, always a pleasure. Always nice to see you.
My pleasure.
I wish I could have access to that library that you have behind you. It's a fantastic library.
Totally.
That one I have it. That one I have it.
Me too.
I have
one. Yes.
I have one. Yeah.
It's a real library, not just you know.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's a real library.
Not all the books have been written by me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, not all the books are real.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Herbert. Thank you, everyone.